Hey you, it's good to see you here. You may have noticed that there is a lack of VR news coverage lately. That's not because there's no VR news out there, there's plenty, but a lot of it's very divisive. And when I cover that, doesn't mean that coverage is divisive, but honestly, emotionally, it's been a tough few weeks, and I've just been really enjoying playing VR and enjoying that rather than discussing divisive comments. In reality, when I do cover divisive objects, I only have one pass at them. I have 8 to 10 minutes max. I'm not making a video longer than that for news to put all my thoughts into one bucket, where then rewatching it, I have endless amounts of time to pick apart my conclusions and thoughts, and that's hard to deal with sometimes. It's stressful, and I don't feel like dealing with it, but I think there's enough going on lately that I've mulled over and would like to talk about. If blog-style news like this you enjoy, like and comment, let me know. I can do these more often. They're easy to do, and maybe they're good for me emotionally, just opening up and being honest. But I think the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, this this commercial from Meta that's just everywhere. You know, it is unlikely that if you pay any attention to VR socials that you have not at least been made aware of this very divisive ad. TLDR, it does show mechanical animals like at Chuck E. Cheese's basically, or Five Nights at Freddy's, seeing their way of life slowly die and age out over time, only to be reinvigorated in Meta's form of the Metaverse. Now, I would say that most people in my circles absolutely hate this ad. I mean, come on guys. Everyone knows this. Most people in VR hate this ad, as it sells VR in a way that really isn't showing anything that it can do. In fact, it is probably showing VR at its worst in a way, as it really shows nothing, and it's all that CG fake presentation bullshit. Basically, it's, hey your life is worn out and over, but at least you can have one last hurrah before you die, right? In VR at least. I mean, that's what I'm reading from this trailer. So, you think about it, there's a lot to talk about here. It's like, one, what do you think about the trailer? I hate it. I think it's pretty obvious that many VR content creators hate this, and it doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean anything that I hate this, because I am just myself, and there's a bigger picture here, right? I think at the heart of it, why many content creators hate it, besides the meta portion of it, right, is that all it is about escapism. And I'm not sure if that's what I want VR to be. I don't know if I want VR just to be escapism. VR in this commercial is painting the picture that real life is so fucking awful that, hey, you can have VR to at least live out the memories that you wish before you die. And I think that's a really dark, bleak, and Black Mirror-esque type picture, because that's really not what VR is, but we know that. We know that, you and I, because we're in it all the time, and we are huge advocates. We've been in the thick of it, the real crunchy bits since inception. We know the badass, cool stuff that you can do, but then you see a commercial like this, and it's basically just saying, hey, real life sucks. Your life sucks. It's going to shit. And you can live out the last hurrah in this CG shown metaverse that isn't really indicative of what the platform is, and most people can't even play it right now. You know what I mean? It sucks. And then that brings me to the next part of, I've had this conversation in private, and I think it's time to kind of try my stab at explaining it, but I personally don't think VR influencers or people who are in VR are the best people to speak about selling it. And hear me out on this. I think the people who are inside VR, and especially the VR content creators, are the number one source for being informed. Go watch them. Like, they're amazing sources to inform you on what's going on, right? You can log into any VR content creator's video and get a rough picture of the state of VR, what's going on, their opinions about it, all this stuff, right? They're great sources of staying informed. But we are all also in a bubble. I can be a good source to keep you informed. I am a terrible source of what sells VR. What sells VR to users who aren't in it. And I know that sounds bullshit, because I should have the expertise to be able to know what a new user might have fun with, might not, be able to sell them VR, but in reality, I don't have the data to know everything about VR, who's using it, who wants it right now. Like, it's really easy once you're using VR to say you know it, but there's just so many people who have no idea what it is, and selling to them is an enigma and mystery. The data's out there. Maybe the best people who need to be jumping into VR right now, the easiest way to get them is escapism. Maybe that's true. I don't know, but maybe, that's why, we all hate this commercial, because it's escapism and not about VR. But maybe that is what people need right now. I don't have that info. I don't know. But I think about it constantly. So TLDR of this whole rant about this commercial that's very divisive is I think it's the biggest disconnect of what we think VR should sell as versus what might sell VR right now. There's no answer to that. I don't know the answer. I don't have the data. But what I think sells VR right now maybe doesn't. Maybe I'm a terrible voice of selling VR. Maybe what sells it right now is the world is a scary, dark place, and that escapism is perfect. I got this text right after the Super Bowl ended, or excuse me, right when the Meta ad aired. I got this text from a friend. Like, this goes to show me I don't know shit. Maybe this is the right ad. I don't know, but I would love your thoughts. I do want to also talk about the Foo Fighters concert. The Foo Fighters concert was something that I was very, very excited to attend, and it never happened. It really just never happened. Basically, right after the Super Bowl, it was scheduled, if you could actually experience it, and again, I'm very frustrated that I can't, but in a nutshell, it was a pre-recorded 40-minute, 10-song performance with, honestly, some rarely played tracks, so to me, also loving the Foo Fighters, this was a highly valuable event with a band that I really wanted to see. However, the entire thing really is just a complete mess, and TLDR, no one was really able to get in. According to Vivek Sharma, the demand for the event was unprecedented, and unfortunately the servers could not handle it. But let me paint a picture for you, right? This event was marketed as VR first. It was marketed VR first with the 2D version second. First of all, right? The concert starts at 8. However, signing up for this concert, you could not pre-join. You could only show interest. And over 60,000 people showed interest, right? 60,000 people showed interest. So picture 60,000 people on the lowest end scale. They're all going to show up. They're at your door, but you can't enter the door until 8 o'clock. And the concert starts at 8 o'clock. You know, if the hole's this big, bad analogy, but you get my point. It was just awful. Some people who got in were crashing when there was only 11 to 13,000 people in the server. And it just boggles my mind how such an amazing opportunity. You're on the Super Bowl, or excuse me, you had a commercial at the Super Bowl. You had this planned to end or start right at the end of the Super Bowl for Pacific times. You had all this marketing that put people in VR, and you had an idea of roughly who was coming. And you take a small circle and force 60,000 people to try to get into it right away, and don't expect problems. Like, we have this ability to come together and experience events that we just generally couldn't. Like, to be part of a Foo Fighters concert in virtual reality with people around me is an opportunity that when I was 13 I would never thought I would have. Now we have it, you're pitching it to us, and we can't even make it work. It's just kind of embarrassing. I have no point to make. I'm just kind of embarrassed for the state of that concert. That's two topics that I've been mulling over. I'd like to do more daily things like this, just talk with you guys, not really caring about making big editing pieces. I want to save those for reviews and other things I'm working on. But let me know what you think of this type of brain dump emotionally. It's been a little bit of a rough week, so just wanted to chill with you guys, talk, and hear your thoughts on the commercial and the Foo Fighters concert. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Peace.